Okay, so today we've got 33 lessons I've learned as a personal trainer. I can't lie, this was like an idea, things I was writing down from, literally I have the date here, 7th of December 2024. We're now in 2026, but you know, better late than never, so I'm gonna go through this and the points that I had now. And this isn't 33 lessons I've written down, it's actually, I got to 30, so whatever, and I'm sure I probably can't I'm sure as I was writing it at the time, I'm sure certain examples were coming to the top of my mind straight away. But let's see if it triggers any memories or yeah, just see. Like this is just kind of cool. This is looking back. So at this point, I was about 4 years and a couple months into PTing. So now I'm like almost 6 years into PTing, 2 years on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And I guess it's a never-ending learning thing, and I'm always learning and always dealing with different characters and different personality types is always a thing. But yeah, let's get into it. So this is going to be off the dome, by the way. I don't know if I'll even edit this properly, but yeah, let's just go off the dome. So the number one lesson I had, in no particular order, but the number one thing I wrote down was that communication is key. So what you say, how you say it, and when you say it can make or break a session. So clear, encouraging communication motivates clients and helps them execute exercises safely and effectively. And then I wrote in as a dash underneath, can mention personality types too. So obviously, depending on the personality types, I was probably thinking about color personality types like red, blue, green, yellow. And you know, kind of within the first session, pretty much the first session, you can kind of section them off into, are they red, are they yellow, are they green, blue, whatever, and then kind of adjusting your personality, adjusting how you talk to them based on that. And also there could be a mix of things, right? So not necessarily the first session only, because as the sessions go on, you can kind of gauge a bit more, okay, they're a bit more red, they're a bit more blue, they're a bit more mix of red and yellow, or whatever. And then how you speak to them is kind of based on that. Like if someone likes clear, if they're more of a red personality, they like more clear, direct instructions, being decisive, telling them how it is, sort of thing, then you know there's no point beating around the bush. Whereas if it's someone who's a bit more, cooperative, or a bit more sensitive, then you know you might be careful about how you word things and how you get to that ending. Like if you're, for example, if you're saying, you know, they're telling you, oh, I'm tracking my calories, and you know they're not. With a red personality type, you can tell them, okay, you're messing up here, blah, 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 when you talk to them. Whereas someone who's a bit more, you know, sensitive, you might have to really take your time and break things down and kind of just let it come to them, and because they know what they're doing is wrong, but in this certain context. But anyway, I waffle, I digress. Anyways, number 2. Listening builds trust. So clients often reveal their challenges, fears, or frustrations in subtle ways and even overtly. Oh yeah, I've actually got on the left side a disclaimer for this video. Still learning to practice these things, always a fine line with some of these lessons, and I still here and there make mistakes, but continually trying to refine and minimize this. And everyone is always so different, so it's, you know, it's hard to really nail it on the head every time. And I doubt that I'll ever stop. You know, these things, learning new things, each new client always brings something I can learn, and everyone has their own idiosyncrasies. And then yeah, some of these lessons are a bit more obvious than others, and patience is definitely an overriding theme for a lot of these lessons. You must have this. But yeah, so number 3, clients often don't know what they need. Many people, pretty much 95% of people, come in wanting weight loss or quick results, but what they truly need is education, consistency, and support. It's your job to help them see the bigger picture. Number 4, we have accountability matters more than the perfect programming. Ooh, adherence is greater than programming. I like this one. If they're going for a transformation, also it is baking in here, so like I'm probably gonna have like some glazed donut face. But yeah, adherence is greater than, I've literally got the arrow, greater than programming. So a perfect workout plan is useless if the client isn't consistent. Often your role as a coach is to provide structure and accountability, as much as technical guidance. I like that one. Also, when I'm writing this down, by the way, it was a video idea, but it's things I'm kind of talking to myself in these too. So this is not like me talking, thinking like I know it all. I've only been a PT like 6 years, and at the time I was writing this 4 years. So like by all means, nothing, you know, not some OG in the game, but yeah, just writing down what I've learned. Number 5, body language reveals everything. 55, I've got in brackets, 55% of communication. So clients won't admit when they're tired, frustrated, or in pain. Sometimes they do. But you have to learn to read their posture, facial expressions, and energy levels, and adapt your sessions on the fly. So that's, yeah, like that's more, I guess you could say, like going back to the personality types, certain personality types, they might say they're okay, or might, you know, say they're good, or say then, I don't know, they're, you know, kind of like they're pushing on, but they kind of appreciate when you can actually just read between the lines and adjust things for them. Or for example, even if, let's say, I don't know, the seat's a bit too high and they're like, oh, no, it's fine, but you know, okay, something's looking wrong, and then you adjust. And then they're like, oh, this feels better, and they appreciate that. Number 6, results means different things to different people. For one client, progress might be losing 10 pounds. For another, it's being able to pick up their kids without back pain. Tailor your success metrics to their individual goals. Yeah, that's a good one. Like I'm like sometimes with this place I used to work at, we were really emphasizing results, but some weren't really looking for results. Obviously, that's what the company was based on, but they weren't really looking for results. It was more just like this family I would train, the husband and wife. They were quite older. He was a bit older. He was like 60, 61 at the time. And for him, obviously, you know, dropping pounds is always great and getting a bit more muscle, being in shape. But for him, it was just little things like being able to walk, you know, 7 to 10K steps and not feel back pain, or like legs are aching, or when he was flying, he's a frequent flyer. So just being able to pick up your luggage and put it in the overhead cabin, just finding those things easier were really big wins for him. So yeah. Number 7, some clients need tough love, others need gentleness. So that's kind of going back to the first point about personality types and whatnot. But your approach must be flexible. Some people thrive on challenges and competition, while others need patience and encouragement to stay motivated. Number 8, people's goals shift over time. A client might start wanting to look good for a wedding, but then later focus on mental health or functional fitness. So stay adaptable as their priorities change. Yeah, so it's like thinking about the goal after the goal. So once they get their transformation, once they, get ready for their wedding, their beach in Spain, or their beach holiday in Spain or whatever, what's the goal after that? Maybe they have never done 10 pull-ups in a row and now they really want to do 10 pull-ups or some weighted pull-ups, or you know, whatever, just maybe a performance goal after the goal, if that makes sense. Like after the transformation, looking for more of a performative form of measurement as a goal, you know what I mean. 9, education is empowerment. So when clients understand why they're doing something, they're more likely to stay committed. Explaining the purpose of movements, nutrition, and rest gives them ownership of their journey. Number 10. Yeah, like when clients don't really know why things are important or what they're working or why they're even doing this, they do tend to lose some engagement. So that's probably why I wrote that. Like I said, this was a long time ago, so I'm just trying to refresh my brain at the same time. Number 10, celebrate effort, not just the outcomes. Okay, yeah. Focusing only on results can discourage clients. Recognizing their hard work, commitment, and improvements in strength, form, or mindset keeps them engaged and motivated. Okay, yeah, so not just like, you know, for example, if they're trying to lose weight, not a be all end all is the scale weight moving. Obviously, that's like that's the measurement you do want to see go down over time. Not in a linear fashion, but something you would want to see go down. But also recognizing, because obviously that there might be certain weekly targets for them to hit, but recognizing, okay, my clothes fit a bit more differently this week, or my form looks a bit better on that, I feel a bit sharper on this, I'm a bit stronger on this today. Okay, that was so annoying, but my phone ran out of storage and my phone died, so not ideal. But we're carrying on. So moving on to number 11, Everybody is unique. Everyone has their own idiosyncrasies, so it can't be cookie cutter. You can't be cookie cutter about stuff, as what works for one person may not work for another. Number 12, meet clients where they are at. Start small and build from their level, and do not force things. Number 13, which also links to number 17, so I'll say both at the same time. Number 13 is empathy builds trust. Understand your clients' challenges, but like really try to understand and put yourself in their shoes. I think they can appreciate when, even if you might not relate to them, let's say like I'm a guy and I'm working with a lady, or I'm working with a pregnant lady, I think they can appreciate when you try to put yourself in their shoes and really understand what they're going through. Like if they've had a hard day, just not going on with it and still pushing them like they, are just like you and will do what you do. So yeah, and then linking that to number 17, trust takes time to build. So clients won't immediately trust you with their bodies or their goals. Maybe they do, but maybe they will as well, but you'll get some that don't. Consistently showing up, listening to them, and delivering results creates trust over weeks and or months. And then going back upwards to number 14, it's not just about the workout. People value connection and accountability. And they really respect that too, and appreciate it when you hold them accountable. Number 15, results come from a lifestyle and not quick fixes. So even though this can be important for transformation, like trying to do that like ASAP, but teaching them sustainable habits, often most difficult because you're basically literally trying to rewire their brains after years and years of bad habits and bad practices. So that's something that will take time. Some people can be robot-like, but for the most part, that's going to take some time. Number 16 is not everybody is ready for change. So some clients think they are, but really they struggle to commit. You can guide and support them, but they have to meet you halfway. Patience and persistence is key here. And then, number 18, fitness is emotional, not just physical. Okay. Clients often carry emotional baggage around their fitness goals. So insecurities, past failures, or trauma. Recognize that training is as much about mindset as it is about movement. Number 19, overcomplicating things loses people. Most clients don't need advanced programming or complex exercises. Simple, effective movements paired with clear instructions lead to better adherence and results. Yeah, most people, sometimes when you overcomplicate things, it tends to get overwhelming for a lot of people, especially when they're just starting out in the gym. So yeah. Number 20, be the calm in their chaos. Clients often show up stressed, overwhelmed, or flustered. Your sessions can be the one place where they feel grounded, seen, and encouraged. Create a positive environment for them. Number 21, consistency beats intensity. So many clients want to go all in from day one, and that's great. As a trainer, I think you should definitely take advantage of that. And you love to see that, but in a positive way, like take advantage of that in a positive way. But at the same time, managing their expectations and teaching them to prioritize showing up consistently over working out hard prevents burnout or even potentially injury, like overuse strains, etc. And just the feeling of disappointment from not seeing results quick enough. And despite your best efforts, clients may push too hard, or what did I write? Or on their own sessions, ignore advice and have underlying injuries. Because some clients really do that. They'll try to push in the session and they'll tell you halfway through that, oh yeah, I hurt myself playing tennis yesterday, or I hurt myself running the other week. Or they've had a surgery or something they haven't even told you about, like last month or 2 months, or when they're first coming, they just fail to mention certain things. Leading on to number 22, injuries happen and it's not always your fault. Sometimes things happen. So I had a client, I remember this now as I'm looking at this, and this was literally about this time. I had a client who went bike riding in Spain, and she tried to keep up with her colleagues. I think it was like her male colleagues, and she was very competitive by nature, and so she tried to keep up with them and went over her bike down a hill, seriously hurting herself, fracturing both her elbows and her knees, etc. And yeah, I remember this. This was pretty bad. So she had to take a lot of time off, and even I remember we had a few sessions, and then went super light on movements, and it was just like, yeah, it was a real struggle and just real disheartening for her because we had to dial back the weight so much. She was basically doing nothing. More on the extreme side, of course, but people will come with little niggles here and there, but it's learning to keep clients engaged and working around their issues. And of course, if you can throw in like physio exercises that they've been recommended, or off your own research, then that's definitely a critical skill, and even helps to move away from an all or nothing approach. And can mention being ill too, so people just take time off, etc. Number 23, some clients will leave, and that's okay. This is a big one. So people move on for various reasons, like financial issues, lifestyle changes, or other priorities. Focus on giving value during your time together, and don't take it personally when they leave. Obviously, you want to reflect on what you could do better next time, but at the same time, when doing so, detach emotionally and don't take it too personal. Obviously, after every client leaves, especially when you're working in like a change gym, or you're just trying to market yourself and find your own clients and keep them on, and find your own clients again. When they leave, it's definitely disheartening, because it's like you do have to look inward and think, okay, what could I have done better next time? And sometimes you might just miss the ball on certain things, and that's part of the learning experience, especially when you first start. And just trying not to be too emotional about it, it definitely helps. And even clients you have good relationships with, that you think not may necessarily never leave, but they might leave sooner than you anticipated, and it's definitely a disheartening feeling. But at the same time, learning to just go with it is important for just staying strong, and keeping your confidence in your abilities to train someone. And then we go on to 24. Your energy sets the tone. So not saying come in and be a jester, we're not trying to jester max over here, but clients will feed off your mood and enthusiasm. So if you're distracted or negative or low energy, it will affect their performance. Like they'll feel that too. So always bring your best self to each session. Obviously, we're not robots, we're humans at the end of the day, so we can't be on it all the time, but you definitely want to try your best. Number 25, not everyone loves working out. Some clients will never enjoy exercise, and that's okay. Your job is to help them stick to it by making sessions as enjoyable and rewarding as possible. Number 26, clients will test your boundaries, whether it's showing up late, canceling last minute, or ignoring programming, thinking they know better. Some clients really like to push limits. So set clear boundaries early on to maintain respect and professionalism. The longer you leave it, the harder it is to claw back. Like I remember one time I kind of just let this client that I had, she was 1 month postpartum, and I remember she had a lot going on, and there was just a lot on her plate, and she would crash out quite often in session. Just I could tell she had a lot going on, so I would let her crash out, not take it too personally. But one thing I wish I did is early on in the session, she would just literally go on her phone after every set and just be very distracted, and the more she went on her phone, the more it would consume her and can take away from the session. So I wish, looking back, I kind of just nipped that in the bud and just told her, look, you can check your phone, but maybe leave the ringer on and just check after each series. So if we do an A and B series, check in between the A and B series, or just check before the session, after session, whatever. Because that whole time there was never like a crazy emergency. It was just she intrinsically felt the need to work herself up and check her phone and be like, oh my god, this, so yeah, I wish I'd done that. But yeah, so if you notice anything within the first session, second session, or even as you train them, something coming on, just nipping it in the bud is always the best thing to do. Obviously, at the end of the day, it'll be a crucial conversation to have, because it's a confrontation, but not a confrontation like that, but you are confronting things. And yeah, it'll always be a crucial conversation, an awkward conversation to have, but again, a crucial one, important one to have, to better the relationship, but then also set the tone for the sessions moving forward. 27, so leads on from 26. You never know which clients you'll end up having a really good relationship with, and timing is everything. I know exactly what I'm talking about here, so it's funny, I just know this straight away. So what I mean by that is perhaps you start off on the completely wrong foot with a client and low-key end up even like passive aggressive arguing with each other, and it all goes sideways, and she has a special occasion coming up and she's on the brink of giving up, but it's almost crunch time to her special occasion, and she's like up on her package. She's basically on the last session and you don't want to give up on her, so you literally spend half of the last session giving her a pep talk, trying to get her to continue and get her mind right, and you manage to persuade her, perhaps, you know, some external factors too, like her family telling her to keep going, blah blah blah, and you basically give her another 30-minute pep talk, clear the air, etc., and then you get on really well. They start to listen to you, follow your advice, have a great transformation in the end, and have their perfect wedding and look amazing for it. And it's so crazy because I know, like, I can, like, this literally, I remember this like it was yesterday, but the gym I was at the time, this was by far the most annoying, dare I say, most insufferable client on my roster. And it turned out to actually be the one who ended up being the best, like, as in, like, it started off like that, but it ended up becoming the most fruitful relationship with someone, and with a client, shall I say. And yeah, it's just crazy how things can work out. Like, even to this day, it's the one I still see and speak to the most. And she ended up down the line, like, I trained her for a bit after, like, outside, and she referred her father to me, and I trained her father when he's in town. And it's just crazy, like, it's like you just never know. Like, this was literally, no joke, I don't even want to say the worst, but because she's not the worst, but like, at the time, that roster in that gym, like, it was the most difficult client for sure, hands down. And it just turned up to be the most fruitful one, and the one I still communicate with and connect to now. So yeah, it's crazy, like, 2 years on, and, you know, yeah, still a very fruitful relationship. And that's definitely one rewarding thing of this job. And, you know, yeah, just very rewarding and fulfilling, and yeah, just a meaningful connection, and something I'll never forget. So yeah, 28, small adjustments can make big differences. So comes down to discernment also, but sometimes, or more time, don't just accept when clients clearly need something changed, but they say, it's fine, I'll just carry on. Minor tweaks in their form, grip, or foot placement, for example, can unlock strength or reduce pain. And clients often don't realize the value of these adjustments until they feel the results. Number 29, you can't fix everyone's diet. Some clients will struggle to change eating habits no matter how much guidance you give them. Of course, you get the handful of robots that come through and they follow as you say, follow what you say to the T, and they get an amazing result. But others take a bit more time. More often than not, most of them will take a bit more time and care and are a work in progress. Focus on progress over perfection and celebrate even small wins. And then last but not least, number 30, your passion inspires others. So clients are drawn to trainers who genuinely love what they do. Sharing your passion for fitness, growth, and helping others keeps them motivated and connected. And, you know, that's a big one, because, like, that's the last one, yeah. That's a big one because, like, it's like anything. Like, when you meet someone who's really passionate about what they do, love what they do, and they're just enthused, they're so energized and energetic. It just puts you on that same level, and it just, like, puts you in a better mood. And it's kind of like you find them charismatic, and you're just, the energy they radiate, and you just naturally are like, oh my god, like, this person's great, and, you know, so forth. So yeah, that is the end of the lessons for so far. Maybe I'll make another 30 lessons maybe I'll make another 30 lessons in 5 years, because no doubt the learning carries on, and, you know, we're learning new things all the time. Everyone new always brings a new lesson. But yeah, if you're a PT and you're watching this, let me know which ones you connected with, resonated with. And if you're someone who's just watching, let me know what you think. And yeah, if you can kind of empathize or you know, be like, oh, this makes sense. But yeah, that's it for now. I will catch you in the next one. I am out. Peace.